Heart to Heart. Real people having real conversations about things that matter most to you. I'm Sherry Elise.
I'm Cyrus Webb.
I'm Rich Oseguera.
I'm Patrice Tanaka.
And we are Heart to Heart.
Yay.
Hey, hello. Welcome everybody to Heart. My name is Sherry Elise and I am one of your hosts here. Heart to Heart is a new talk show. Well, not that new actually, where you get to choose the topic. Let me introduce you to my amazing co-hosts. Welcome to the show, Cyrus, Patrice, Rich, and our awesome producer behind the scenes, Tracy. We're so excited to be here with you guys today. If you're watching with us live or you're watching the replay, say hello in the comments. Let us know that you're here. Remember, you're the fifth co-host, so we want to know what's on your heart today. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing really good.
Good. Glad to hear. I'm happy to be here with you guys. Before we all got on air, I just gave them this great tip about how to keep your wig in place. So they all know that. And now you guys, if you need to know, just rub your hands together. It works really well and just place it right on your head. Don't forget to grab your favorite cup of anything. I've got my 4-shot latte in here. So it's going to be a fun show.
That's right.
Cyrus, what's going on? How are you doing today?
You know, I'm feeling a little conflicted today, Sherry. It's, myself personally, I'm feeling good. But, as we know, you have only to look around us to see there's a lot happening in the world today. I know we talked about last week, the tragic shooting that happened in Atlanta. Now, as we're coming on the air, just a couple of days past another shooting in Colorado. So, it's been interesting kind of navigating, trying to be your best self, right? And knowing that so many people are hurting right now. I mean, what about you guys? I mean, how have you guys able to balance that? I mean, be able to find some peace in your own life, knowing so many people are having so much unrest?
Well, it's interesting because I've been speaking about that last night, and then tomorrow I have another speaking engagement, really trying to help people get through challenging times, right? How can they do that? And for me, it's challenging because of last week's Atlanta shootings and then now the shootings in Boulder. So it's just kind of an ongoing series of, terrible events that are happening. So what I say is I'm just focusing on living my purpose, choosing joy, being mindful of that joy and sharing that joy with others. So that's why today here with you guys, this is a choice of joy. And I'm really happy to be here. And this is going to be one of the joyful episodes of the day that I'm going to count before I go to bed tonight. So thank you.
Love it.
I love that, Patrice. Sorry, Rich. I was just I got moved by the joy moment. So so I just had to respond to that because I feel the same way, and I'm going to be totally transparent. I didn't really read about Colorado until this morning. I knew what happened. I knew that there was a shooting. I knew some of the details, but I just couldn't take that in when it happened, like to fully sit with it. I needed to honestly prepare myself for it because I know how deeply, like all of us, that we feel. And for me, it almost takes me to another level. So this morning I actually sat with it and I cried. And, it's hard, it's hard. But like Patrice said, we have to create these moments for ourselves. And just so you know, yesterday, I put up this post on Facebook that was just like, happy Tuesday, And then I just stared at it and I felt, to be honest, really guilty about it. And I deleted it because I thought that's so insensitive, like happy, and then I thought about that and I was like, should you have? So this is, it's trying to find the balance. I just wanted to really quickly, Rich, before we wanted to shout out those who are here watching live with us. Hello, Garrick. Hello, Jenny. Hello, my mom. Glad you guys are tuning in with us. If you're just joining us right now, we're just talking about Colorado right now. And halfway through the show, the midpoint of the show, we are going to be revealing in the Heart to Heart Vault a question that you sent in. And so we'll be discussing that shortly. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, I think I took an opposite approach to you, Sherry. Once I saw something on my Facebook feed about Colorado, I knew I was going to have to really look into it and kind of just face it. And these are times for really just turning into our self-care, which we've talked about so many times already on this show, but taking care of myself emotionally with meditation and doing the things so that I can process and be aware of what's happening in the world. And I really hear what you're saying about, Sherry, about feeling guilty about being positive or putting happy things out there. And at the same time, I think people like us in particular, we're called to be that light. We're called to keep giving people an alternative to all the heaviness that's in the world. And didn't just start happening. It's, it's always, there's something always going on. Right. So to do that, I have to take care of myself. And otherwise, then that's fake. Then that's not real, or then that's being insensitive to inauthentic, I guess. So there's just different ways that we're going to handle things like this. But taking care of ourselves first and foremost, I think, is important so that we can then be of service to other people.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was interesting though. Like, I think what came up for me when I was like having that inner battle about, do I put, this brightness out there? And like, I had some great personal things happening with me, but it reminded me of last year during, George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, and how I got super involved with it and really connected to it. And I remember seeing some of those posts at the time that were similar. And I was thinking, like, how can you not like see what's happening and feel like I felt that way looking at? And so I think I was really sensitive to that, finding that going and seeing myself as that person, And so it was really just sitting with myself and having that conversation and finding out, for me, I had to sit with that and go, what feels right for you, Sherry? Don't think about how other people are going to perceive you. You have to sit with. So that was an interesting, thing for myself.
Well, one thing that I did, because usually I try to, recently I've just been all about the hashtag Stop Asian Hate campaign. Every post that I'm doing, on every platform is all about that. And then I wanted to support a friend of mine who is competing to be my favorite chef. So I actually prefaced my the post I did on her saying, I interrupt my regularly scheduled program on hashtag Stop Asian Hate to ask you to please support one of my favorite Asian American sisters, who is running for my favorite chef. So I think there's a way that we can kind of acknowledge what's going on, but celebrate. There's still a lot of great things to celebrate, and still not, think about if somebody's reading it and with no preface, it's like, what? She's just focused on this my favorite chef competition. What about those people who were killed in Boulder or in Atlanta? So, I just don't want comments like that on my Facebook page.
I get it. I'm curious, for those of you who are watching, how you're feeling about all of this and, finding balance for yourself. Cody mentioned earlier that it's okay to not be okay. Holly says that it is a somber morning and she's sending comfort and healing. And Jenny says, we need those celebrations to keep the hope flowing.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Totally agree. And I think too, the other thing that I think is important is that I think if you totally give, this is my personal opinion. If you totally give into that darkness and that negativity, you do miss out on those moments like what you were talking about, Sherry. You've had some great things happening right now, and being able to celebrate that and to appreciate that, and what Patrice was mentioning about her friend and celebrating that. And even, quite honestly, I've been enjoying seeing these great profiles about the individuals who lost their lives and the work that they did, the things that they were looking forward to. And, I think that is still important, because it does remind us of, what it means to be a good person today, and how we can be able to uplift that rather than just give in to, the nastiness that's going on.
Yes.
Yeah. You just said that, because it feels right now like, because I just read about each one of them today,
Mm-hmm.
and their lives. And it just feels really like, I want us to share their voices, to share them and about them. And I think it's so important, like you said, I think it's really important that we celebrate their lives. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think too, especially after this last year, many of us, especially if you're on social media, you've had so many opportunities to be outraged, to be upset, to be angry about the things, right, that we are hurt by or choose to be offended by. And when things like this happen, these mass shootings, or pick a thing, we want to feel the feelings and see what happens for us. But then I think an evolution of that is what role can I play in having this not happen again, or to change the dynamics that lead to a mass shooting in this case, or hate against Asian Americans or Blacks or Hispanics or gays, like whatever the thing is. The next level beyond just being upset or outraged is action. And I think that's an opportunity, that's a place for a lot of us to start looking, so that we can be a part of a solution versus just the chorus of upset. And I'm not saying I'm always great at that, but that's a place that I'm trying to look at as well. And pick a lane, and all the lanes need help, like Sherry, like you did last year, especially around George Floyd and his murder. You got so active and so engaged, and it was really powerful to watch that, especially you as a white woman, that your voice made such a big impact. So I think we can all find something like that to do.
Yeah. And I think that one of the best things that have come out of the horrible shootings in Atlanta is the outpouring of support from so many, people of conscience, so many organizations, so many nonprofits, so many corporations who stand in allyship with Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. I've never seen such a groundswell of support from other communities. And so that feels really good. And I think that, if one group is being victimized, then all of us are being victimized. And I love that we are all in it together. So that to me has been a real bright spot.
And I think that that's what actually, last year specifically, and really with the pandemic, and, having us all just, the world stop in a sense, and all of us be able to really start paying attention and to see what's happening in our world and seeing what's happening with one another. And then that connection, that I really think it has brought us to this place where we can hold more space for one another. I mean, I know, again, I can only speak for myself, but as you said, Rich, just getting involved in the Black Lives Matter movement, for me, that was about being able to see more than just myself, because I was so tuned into the world and to everybody. So I think, there's a lot of great, I hate using the word great for the pandemic, but what has happened, and right now for all of us to be able to, speak up, as Patrice is saying, and all the support that's coming in.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So it's a lot, but this is why we started Heart to Heart, was really to have these conversations, to be able to find out what's important to you guys so that we can talk about it. And so that leaves us with, leading into the next part of our show where you guys sent in your questions for this week. And we're going to find out in just a minute which one's waiting in the vault. But for right now, the questions that came in are, how do you handle a friend or family member refusing to get vaccinated? 2, what can we all do to serve more in our communities? And the last one was, how do you know when it's time to move on from a relationship? So Tracy, it's time for a favorite segment, the Heart to Heart Vault. Out what is waiting in there. So you guys, let's open the vault. Show us what's in there. Oh, nice image, Tracy. How do you handle a friend or family member refusing to get vaccinated? Well, I already know someone that is just biting or chomping at the bit to speak on this one. So I'm just going to turn it right over to him, Cyrus.
Okay, so this is the thing. For those who may not know, I am Black.
What?
And I know it's a shocker. It's something I've been growing into, but yeah, I would say among my, it sounds funny to say this, among some of my Black friends, it has been a big topic of conversation about, I'm not going to take it. I've had people in my family who have said, well, you know what? They're trying to experiment on us. Somehow still they think it's something to do with 5G and them running tests on us and trying to program us to turn on vacuum cleaners and microwaves. I don't know. But but I think it's one of those issues for me. It's like, okay, it becomes a either or for me. And that is either you want to do all you can to protect yourself and others or you don't. And, there are things I understand that people don't know. But I think it's one of those things that is so important because if anyone wants any sense of normacy or return to what that is or they think it is, I think it's one of the things that we understand that we have to do. So what I've been doing is just kind of putting it that way, saying, hey, look, if you're not going to do this, that's your choice, but just know what you're saying about how you feel about other people.
Yeah. This is a great question. I just got my first dose actually over the weekend and can't tell you how it was just very surreal. It all happened so quickly. We just had this opportunity to go to one of the super sites here, vaccination sites. They opened it up at the last minute to anyone who could get there because that site was closing and they didn't want the vaccines to go to waste. So we went right down and it was really just this cathartic, surreal, like emotional experience just after the whole year of what we've been through. And I say that because I don't get flu shots. I'm not big on putting vaccines in my body beyond the ones that had to be put there when I was a baby. And this whole year has brought up a lot of questions about vaccines. And I don't call myself an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not into getting vaccinations like flu shots. And I thought that would be that way about this, but to what Cyrus was just pointing to, I'd rather do that than be on a ventilator. And, I lost a grandfather. He was diagnosed with COVID and then shortly thereafter, passed away in a nursing home. And my mom is in her 70s, early 70s, and it was a big conversation to get her to get vaccinated. And I had to make the appointment for her online with her on the phone. I was so passionate about this. And then she ended up getting it from a doctor locally faster. But, I want to be able to see my parents. And my line is, if you're vaccinated and we're vaccinated, then we can be around each other with a lot more comfort. And I think it's just such a contentious topic. I know so many people, especially in the spiritual community, who are completely anti-vaxxer and who won't do it because they just believe that they're protected. And I believe that too. It's just but here's the thing, and it's not a new vaccine. They've been working on this for years, and finally the timing came together. And if I have if I can get a better Wi-Fi signal now, awesome. But this is one of the things people say, that you'll start getting Wi-Fi signals. It's a health issue, and it's a global health issue. And this is beyond just a preference of a flu shot or not. This is something that's far out of my control, and having this gives me a little bit more security. And that's my choice. And there's other people who, will have an opposite view, and that's their choice. I think all we can do is share our stories and our reasons, and then people are going to make the decisions they're going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Cyrus does, and Rich too, that's your choice. However, it speaks volumes to, how you care or don't care about other people, because it's not just about you or about us. And so given that you're not going to get a vaccine, well, then, as much as I care about you, I can't be with you. It's just, that's just the way it is. And I hope that you're not inadvertently, accidentally, kind of on purpose, spreading the contagion.
Well, this is going to shock you guys. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. And I'll share how do they refuse. I've been looking at this vaccine as totally personal, that on a personal level, if you choose not to get it, you're putting your own health at risk. You're not actually putting somebody else's health at risk.
No.
That's, Jenny says that is true. It is an antiviral. So I'm going to have to do more research